Spin the wheel, the truth unrolls. 360 fire, burning holes. In the lies they stitch like seams. Pull the threads, unravel dreams. Eyes wide open, can't unsee. Chains they wrapped in secrecy. Freedom whispers loud and bold. Feel the heat, this truth ain't cold. Tin Hat Thursday, light the flame. Sparks ignite, don't play the game. Rip it open, break the mold. Truth is fire, truth is gold. Cloaks in shadows, puppet strings. Whisper lies, the devil sings. But the rabbit digs too deep. Unveils secrets meant to keep. Eyes like daggers cut the dark. Blazing trails ignite the spark. We're the thunder in the storm. Breaking free from their old norm. Tin Hat Thursday, light the flame.
Rippin' Rabbit Hole is a community-driven radio. At times the community comments may reveal prejudices and other beliefs that we or our sponsors do not condone. Views or opinions expressed by the community, callers, or guests, are those of the individual speaking and do not represent the views or opinions of this site. Rippin' Common Sense content is intended for mature audiences only. Enjoy.
Ignite, don't play the game. Rip it open, break the mold. Truth is fire, truth is gold. Eyes like daggers cut the dark. Blazing trails ignite the spark. We're the thunder in the storm. Breaking free from their old norm. Tin Hat Thursday, light the flame. Sparks ignite, don't play the game. Rip it open, break the mold. Truth is fire, truth is gold.
Good evening and welcome to Tin Hat Thursday. It is Thursday, August 13th, 2026. I am Screech Scott,
And I am Red.
and we are coming to you live from our perch high above the western shores of Lake Michigan, where we will be screaming 360 degrees of truth. We want to thank you for joining us on Tin Hat Thursday and hope that you will join us right here on Rippin' Common Sense Radio each and every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central. If you are listening on Rumble or on YouTube, we invite you to hop on over to rippinrabbithole.com and join the rest of Tin Hat Nation in the VIP Backstage Lounge. The Backstage Lounge is free and always will be. Go to rippinrabbithole.com. Click on the Backstage 24/7 Lounge in the taskbar. Scroll down until you see the Backstage Lounge and click on that big red Enter Now button. Allow the permissives, put in your name and join the fun. Just remember to keep yourself muted until the show ends. Listen to the show and then hang around for some spirited discussion with others. The Backstage Lounge is a great place to meet new friends and talk about anything that you want to. And we can speak from experience when we say that you will often find screech owls deep into the early AM hours. That is rippinrabbithole.com. RIPPONRABBITHOLE.com. And I think Red put the links
Yes, I did.
in the chat on both Rumble and YouTube.
Yes, sir, I did.
I understand we had a mishap with YouTube last night. We were not broadcast on YouTube.
No, not
But
last
I
night.
think everything is good. So
It sounded like it.
uh,
Well, actually, let me double check.
if you're listening on YouTube, we apologize for last week's episode. A little bit of a snafu on Screech's part, but we are glad to be back on YouTube and getting a thumbs up that we are live on YouTube as well tonight. Well, we have a really light crowd in the backstage tonight. Red, we have Amanda and Jenny and Harry T. Rex, Rippin' Rabbit in Studio B, and
Well,
tonight
even Screech is back there.
Screech is back there.
You know
and
what? You have my earpiece, by the way.
I don't think so, Red, but we'll try
Yeah,
it. Either way,
there. It fits better, and there's not as much static because it's when it crosses. It
anyway,
seems to do that.
we've got a light crowd. I think a lot of our listeners will listen on demand this week because we are up against right there the green and gold playing their
I
first
know.
preseason game tonight on a Thursday night. I'm not sure. I thought I talked to the NFL. Let's not.
I know.
I hate to take your viewers away from the NFL, so
Yeah,
don't put
unfortunately, they didn't listen.
games up against us. So
So if you hear me yell touchdown, you know what happened. Because we do have the TV on.
and Red, we got some.
So I'm sorry, but you got to root for the gold, green and gold.
Red, got some really bad news right before the show went on. They had an update on the local weather, and the weather guy was talking about the fact that today was the last day for not the next 9 months that the sun will set after 8 p.m. and
I know. That's depressing.
that's a sign that some cold weather is not too far down the road here, Red. And I'm not crazy about winter to begin with.
Right.
I
And
don't.
that's so depressing.
If I could have reached through the TV when I saw that one, I would have punched him right in the throat when he said that one because that
You
was.
like punching people in the
I
throat,
like
huh?
punching people in the throat.
Welcome back, Michelle.
Uh,
You know, when did we discover this part? 2 nights ago or last night?
2 or 3 days ago.
Okay, so
You're gonna jump right into that one.
yes,
Huh?
I
You
am.
don't want to save it till the end.
No,
Okay.
we'll repeat it at the end.
Well, we don't want to repeat it, so let me get the
I do.
graphic up, Red.
I do want to repeat it because I think it needs attention. Maybe it's because we don't know him personally, but we've
So let's
been able to talk about or talk to him several times.
set the story, Red. Let's tell people what happened.
Okay, go ahead.
So the image that you see on the stage, his name is Kenny. Kenny has some disabilities,
Yes.
and Kenny works at the local Walmart store here in town. And uh, folks, this man has been with Walmart for 21 years.
He just
and-
celebrated his 21st anniversary. Just
and
celebrated it.
he is a greeter at Walmart, and I'm telling you, he the happiest guy in the world. And every time we'd walk
Absolutely.
in, every single time he'd give me a fist bump. He would ask us
how
how
you're
we're
doing.
He would say, "I love your shirt. I love your hat." Whatever it was,
Yep.
just the friendliest guy in the world.
Yep. And he's
And-
not afraid to ask questions because he asked us when we wore our 250 shirt in. He's like, you know, I've been seeing a lot of these 250 shirts around. What's that all about? And I thought that was kind of an odd question, but like I said, we've talked to him, but not like in great length where we know him personally type thing. Because I honestly didn't really think that he had a disability. I didn't know that until now. But we had to explain to him, you know, what 250 was. And he got this huge smile on his face after he learned what it meant.
So anyway, the community loves Kenny, and people would walk into the store, and when Kenny would greet them at the door, uh, he would oftentimes give people hugs because there are people in the community that
That he
said
does know.
and he would just they would say, "Kenny, give me a big hug," and he would hug anybody that walked in the door if they wanted a hug.
Yep.
And apparently there was a complaint.
Yeah.
I don't know who would have, and for
You know,
whatever reason it
people
was.
complain about the stupidest things nowadays. So,
Well, and we
you know,
don't
we
know the
don't
reason
know.
for the complaint, but the bottom line is Kenny was terminated
Yes.
after 21 years, and the community is really up in arms when you look at social media. What's uh,
Well, and come to find out, well, I shouldn't say find out, but it reminded me this happened to another young lady that had Down syndrome. About,
and
I
this
want to
goes
say,
it's in that article, Red.
oh,
I
okay.
don't know. It told when it was. It was like 2014 or
Over 16 years.
no.
Wait,
That's how
no,
long
she
she
worked there
there.
for 16 years. Okay, so Marlo
Spath.
Spath, She was diagnosed with Down syndrome, worked at the Walmart for over 16 years, consistently receiving positive performance reviews. And she was terminated as well.
And there were so folks. She relied on public transit to get to and from work,
Hmm.
and she had worked the same. They had accommodated her schedule so that she could uh, take the city buses that are offered in Manitowoc,
Yep.
and our buses in Manitowoc don't run around the clock.
No, they don't.
So they were very good about accommodating her need for the public transit, and they abruptly changed that her
Yep.
schedule, and they
They
refused to work
refused
with
to
her.
accommodate her requests for different hours, and she began having an
She missed some work.
issue of absenteeism
And
because
through
the buses.
no fault of her own,
No.
right? She couldn't drive. She relied on the city bus, and they would not work to accommodate her. There was a lawsuit filed, and Walmart lost that lawsuit.
Yes, they did. Thankfully.
This is the very same Walmart. And now Kenny, who they received the complaint, and I'm not sure how, if it could have been addressed in another way. Clearly, I think termination was awfully serious. Uh, didn't have to happen.
Exactly. So, I know a lot of people in the community are, I mean, I've seen it several times on Facebook. Um, they're asking people to boycott
Oh,
Walmart,
this
which,
is the
we don't really care for Walmart to begin with.
yeah, we
But,
and we go in there very little, but when we do, Kenny
well,
was
mainly
always there to.
because of my insurance,
Well,
unfortunately.
and we don't have a lot of stores in our town, Red. I mean,
That too.
sometimes that's the only option.
Right.
But it never failed when Kenny was there. He would brighten anybody's day, and I'll tell you, he's got former coworkers coming out, people who are still employed by Walmart who are
And
upset about this as well.
yeah, and we just watched actually on the news right before the show started. They'd had the little break in the news as a commercial for the game, and they brought up the story, and one of the former coworkers and a current coworker was on there and interviewed, and had nothing but praise
And
about
talked about
Kenny.
how when they would go to work and maybe they didn't feel like being there, and they'd walk in, and Kenny would just brighten their day and
Yeah, always put a smile on people's faces.
make them feel better about being at work. So shame on Walmart, number one,
Absolutely.
for not finding a way. This man has bills like everybody has, and because of that, the community has stepped up, and they started a GoFundMe for Kenny,
Yes.
and the it was set at $9,000 goal. They've already reached like over 80% of the goal.
Yep, and
Uh,
that's in a day, day and a half. I
if
don't know when it was set up, but
it
since he's been fired, it's been about a day and a
if
half.
you've got a couple bucks and you want to help Kenny out, go to GoFundMe and look for just
Kenneth
it.
Schmitz, Schmitz.
And if you just put that in there, the GoFundMe search, you'll see the GoFundMe, and it'll explain everything for you. But uh, shame on Walmart. We're gonna circle back to this one at the end because
Absolutely.
tonight's subject, although this is not waste, uh,
No, no, Kenny's not waste. He, you know,
but it's not the kind of waste that we're talking about. But
right,
again,
right, right.
shame on corporate America for doing what they did to Kenny. And
And they
Kenny,
should be completely ashamed of
w-
themselves.
we
I'm sorry, but they
we
should.
we told Kenny a time or two about the podcast when we'd be in there because we would be
Yeah,
wearing some of our gear,
yep.
and he would ask about it, and we told him about
He
it,
actually told us about his church too.
and maybe Kenny is tuning in on Rumble or YouTube, and Kenny, our thoughts are with you, and the community supports you, and they're behind you, and again, shame on corporate America for this. It's just wrong.
When
It's
and like I said, that he's even invited us to his church.
I've seen
So, I
I've seen
mean,
employees in that store who are
standing around doing nothing.
a lot less friendly than what Kenny ever was.
Yes.
And he was a good spokesman for the company.
Oh, absolutely.
Truly was. So enough of that, Red.
Okay,
For
sorry.
now. Uh, what are you doing here, Red?
I have to grab this because I keep snagging things.
So Red, I knew that we were up against the three-letter agency here tonight.
Yeah.
And I knew that many of our listeners wouldn't be listening live. And I wanted to keep it a little bit light tonight because last night We talked about elections and nothing's been fixed and blah blah blah, and uh, thought we could talk about something
More,
a little lighter
yeah,
tonight.
l-
And
lighthearted, but I don't even know if lighthearted would really be the word for it
well,
because I mean it's you can't make this stuff up type, and I don't even want to call it laughable because it's coming out of our pocket initially and eventually, however
so
you
we're
want to word it.
so Red, you're much younger than me. So like when
Oh,
this
you keep
well
reminding me of that.
well you are, and when this started, so tonight, folks, if you're not familiar with this, Wisconsin had a senator back in the 70s and into the 80s, and his name was Senator William Proxmire. He was a Democrat from Wisconsin, and Senator Proxmire started the Golden Fleece Awards when you were but just a toddler, Red. You were like
I was
4 years old, three,
three
four
years
years old.
old, 3 years old.
Excuse me, when the first Golden Fleece was awarded, and
That
uh,
was in March of 1975,
right,
and I
and
just dated
it was a
myself.
it was a monthly award that Senator Proxmire started giving. It continued, like said, it started in March of '75, and it went through 1988. He gave 168 of these Golden Fleece Awards out. Uh, and really, the reason he saw the waste,
Yeah,
it,
his basic question was, why are taxpayers paying for this? I mean, any of this.
and he wanted to highlight the waste in bureaucracy and really questionable priorities that were put in place by our congressional leaders, if you will. Uh,
And the very first, do we want to start out with the first or do
well,
we want to work
no,
backwards?
no, we
Okay.
want to start with the
Start
first.
with the very first one. And it'll make you slap your head, shake your head, and roll your eyes, and you'll be like, what? So in March of 1975, the agency was the National Science Foundation. Their original cost for this research is $84,000, which is equivalent to, in 2026, it would be equivalent to $521,000. The research was they were trying to study why people fall in love.
Amazing,
Amazing.
isn't it amazing?
You
So
know what? It could have taken me $5.
and
No, I'm
and
just kidding.
well, in red, I will point out again, equivalent to $521,000 in 2026.
You
Uh,
can't make this up, people.
no, that was the first Golden Fleece Award ever awarded. Uh, what do we have, a comment?
Yeah, RJ just said, and always will be younger, Rip.
Yes, you
All
are
right,
right,
Beth.
RJ. She will always be younger than me. Better looking too, but
Oh,
uh,
please. So RJ is Rip's Beth. I am not Beth. Or RJ is.
so the first one was to do the research, finding out why people fell in love. We're just going to give you some examples, folks, of some of the waste that Senator Proxmire exposed, and he tried to use it. These awards were kind of done with an element of humor to
Yeah.
just bring attention to them.
Well, I mean, discussion points about the why people fall in love. You know, who decides whether research provides enough public benefit? First of all, is this a public benefit?
Well, I don't think so, and clearly Senator Proxmire didn't think so.
Should government fund research simply because something can be studied?
And I think if it's an opportunity to shuffle money around and send money off, I think that there are plenty of. Uh,
So my question is, being that it's 10 at Tuesday or Thursday, man, I'm on Tuesday. Um, how much of that money did they pocket
well,
instead of actually researching?
and we're likely to never know. Uh,
Exactly.
but folks, we want to give you some ideas on some of the Golden Fleece Awards that were awarded. Again, these date back to 1975, where we're started. In '75, it was monkey business.
Monkey business.
Monkey business.
Monkey business.
The original, now get this one, the original cost of monkey business was $500,000, $500,000.
Well, that's not bad. Come on.
Equivalent today to $3.1 million. And
And what is monkey
the,
business?
the study was why monkeys and humans clench their jaws. Now,
Really?
I'm not sure why we need to know this, but more importantly, why did
Very good
why did we
question.
have to spend $500,000 of tax dollars to try and find out?
Exactly. I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh because really humans and monkeys, why they clench their jaws. I know I do it when I'm angry or my anxiety goes through the roof.
And there probably are a number of reasons, and I will point out that the actual research was more sophisticated than what Senator Proxmire, put in his Golden Fleece Award. And
Well, did he unfairly simplify the legitimate research? I wonder.
I don't know, but there was a lawsuit, Hutchinson versus Proxmire, and it was a Supreme Court case. Uh, I have to tell you, I don't know how that one came out. It doesn't matter. It's crazy to me that we're talking about monkeys clenching their jaws.
And Amanda said in the backstage says they need to do that study again today.
Oh yeah, because I think about how often many of us are out there clenching our jaws and grinding our teeth off,
Holding our tongue.
biting our tongues. Absolutely.
Oof. My mind went to child sex trafficking, clenching jaws, cutting off limbs. You know what? That's a great point too, RJ.
Exactly. Uh, so again, let's keep it moving, Red. Let's talk about some of his Golden Fleece Awards.
All right. So his next one would have been in 1975 for the Federal Aviation Administration. The original cost was 57,800, and it's equivalent to approximately 359,000 in 2026. The project is physical measurements of approximately 432 airline stewardesses. The measurements reportedly included seated body dimensions, knee measurements, and buttock length. Okay, why do I need to know how long my butt is?
And why was that important to why was that important to anybody? And
Uh,
that's why they received the Golden Fleece, because
Maybe they needed to know how big to make the seats in the airline or
well,
in the airplane.
and maybe there was some valid reasons, but the money, $360,000
So
in
let's
today's
measure the
money,
stewardesses.
the buttock lengths.
Oh my gosh.
It's
And the knee measurements.
it's absolutely absurd, and it doesn't get any easier as the time goes on, because in 76, uh,
Well, this one they could have waited until today or 2027 because it's going to be installed in every vehicle in 2027 and newer. So go ahead.
so this one was keeping your eyes on the road. In the study, what they did was they had scantily clad women walking, and the test was to see.
Pause. We have a question. Do men ever get measured
Well, I
instead of
now
stewardesses?
in 1975, I'm not sure how many male flight attendants there were, and this was a study specifically of. Now they call them stewardesses back in that day. We don't dare call them that anymore. What is so funny, Red?
Nothing. Nothing. Just yeah, they didn't have male stewardesses back then.
Flight attendants.
They were stewardesses back then.
Back then, but we didn't have males in that profession. Very few, I would assume.
Anyway, okay. So you were saying
So
about number.
you threw me off. So
I apologize.
it's
There
all
was
right.
a question though.
When you were laughing, but did you read the question? Oh, so it was folks. If you're listening on YouTube or Rumble, you're gonna have to stop into the backstage if you want to see some of the comments that we may or may not read.
Right.
Uh, but
That was not part of the question, but I got what she meant.
All right. Anyway, Red, in 76, the National Science Foundation received $46,100, equivalent to about 271,000 today. And again, they had scantily clad women walking, and they wanted to see if male automobile drivers in Chicago would keep their eyes on the road or if they would look at the women who were walking on the sidewalks or on the roadsides.
And what I meant about the 2027 vehicles are newer is they plan on putting that little device in your vehicles that if you take your eyes off the road for too long, then it'll shut down your vehicle. So maybe they should have waited
And,
instead of spent that money.
and the question I have about that one, Red, is uh, I'm pretty sure that many of us could have predicted the results of that one for free.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
I mean,
But maybe that was the reason why they need to add that little device into our vehicles now, huh? Is that what they're going to try to tell us? Well, look at the research we did back in 1976.
it could be.
Because guys can't keep their
Their
eyes
eyes
on
on
the
the road
road.
when there's scantily dressed women walking on the sidewalk. And men probably haven't changed a great deal since 1976. So,
Probably not. So then the next one,
so now we're moving to 1977, right, Red?
1977, and it was for the Department of Justice. The original cost was 27,000, which is equivalent to 149,000. I don't know what OBS does. All right, it's connected again.
I know, but now we may have lost our
The feed.
Oh, looks like we're
Okay, we're good.
we think.
So, I mean, how many people need to do research on why prisoners want to get out of jail? I mean, come on.
Right. It's ridiculous. And
I mean, to me, that would be a no-brainer of why they want to get out. But you know what? You're in there for a reason. Deal with it. Go ahead to the next one.
so uh it just never changes. Well, this one was minimal, so I'm not even going to talk about this one.
But
Just briefly,
well,
I'll mention it was
I was gonna say,
it was
but they can do research on cheating in tennis, but they
the
can't do
the
research
agency
on cheating and other stuff nowadays.
in this goes back to 1977. That the agency was the National Endowment for the Humanities. The original cost was only 2,500, so this wasn't bad
Which
compared
is
to.
equivalent to 14,000 in
Right,
2026.
but back then, I mean, that wasn't much compared to the others that we've talked about.
Behavior on the tennis court involving rudeness, lying, and cheating.
So this would have been
Really?
like at the heyday of the, I think, John McEnroe, where he would have tizzy fits during the matches and throw things.
Maybe he
And
should have taken money out of his pocket to pay for it.
maybe John McEnroe was part of the reason they had to have this study to find out why people are rude or do the things
Or
on the
why they
tennis court.
cheat on the tennis court. Okay, anyway, that one's kind of bleh.
Yeah.
So in 1977, the U.S. Post Office was the next recipient. Um, the original cost more than $3.4 million, which is equivalent to 18 million now in 2026.
And the focus of that one, Red, was to encourage Americans to write more letters.
So what do? They start email. So we wasted
3.4 million.
$3.4 million only to come out a couple of decades later with email, and look at the post office now. But was
But
the market, or was it a normal marketing ploy or research, I guess you could say? You know,
yeah, I don't know. I don't remember what it was, Red. I don't remember but some kind of advertising to try and increase the number of letters being written. I imagine the post office was hurting at the time. They needed more revenue generated. Oh, we've got a break coming up, and then when we come back, we're gonna.
I was just gonna say they could have kept the postage cost down, and people probably would still be writing letters. Anyway, Go ahead.
we're going to talk. We're going to give a couple more of the Golden Fleeces from back then, and then we'll talk a little bit about maybe what would be awarded the Golden Fleece today.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that at the end.
Well, after the break, Red.
Oh yeah.
All right, so Red, what do we have?
August 26th, Manitowoc County Patriots. Holiday Inn, the Holiday Inn right off of Highway 43 on Calumet Avenue. Harry Waite is going to be in Manitowoc speaking at the Manitowoc County Patriots, and that starts at 6 o'clock p.m.
It's their America 250 potluck, so
Yes.
if you feel compelled to bring a dish to pass, feel free to do so, but
But it's not required.
Come and have something to eat. It starts at 6 o'clock with a short half-hour socializing time, and then 6:30, promptly at 6:30 p.m., I think,
Mm-hmm.
Braden will introduce
Mr. Harry Waite.
Mr. Harry Waite, who's bringing his presence to East Central Wisconsin in Manitowoc. So, folks, if you're in Fond du Lac or Winnebago, Outagamie, I mean, some of our immediate
Anywhere.
counties, Calumet, come on over and join us. If you haven't had the opportunity to meet Harry Waite and hear his story firsthand,
And-
please come out and meet him. He's a great guy. We love Harry.
Oh, absolutely.
And,
And we're going to be live that night, so we'll probably be having questions in the backstage as well that we can ask Harry. And I do see that Amanda just said that she's going to try to make it to that, and she really wants to meet Harry.
well,
So
that
that'd
would
be
awesome,
awesome, Amanda.
because not only do you want to meet Harry, but we'd love to.
We'd love to
be able
meet
put
you.
put a face with the name too, because you're back here all the time. So
Absolutely.
that would be great. And I'm not sure where you live, Amanda, but maybe if you need, maybe we can work out some carpooling if we know of someone else coming from your area. But,
Yep.
either way, we'd love to see you, and that would be great.
Absolutely.
I know this area is excited that Harry's coming here. I don't know that Harry's ever spoken in Manitowoc County,
I'm not sure.
but looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun evening and very relaxed. Harry won't answer anything. And
Oops. And he will give it. He will tell you completely 100% truth on whatever your question's going to be. He does not sugarcoat anything. So if you don't like what you're going to hear, then you don't answer the question, I guess. But I think it's a great thing that he tells the truth about everything, good, bad, or ugly. You don't like the answer, then fix it.
well, you're going to get the truth. And,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. And Harry,
And that's what I love.
and Harry wants to inspire people to get involved and work on the things in your own backyard. And Harry
Mhm.
will talk about that. And,
Yeah,
if you-
because
if you're-
he's the founder of hot government, and hot government can't be everywhere in this state. So he's going to tell you, hey, we need to start this over here too, and over in this corner of the woods. And
And you will be inspired when you hear Harry
Oh,
talk about what he's done. And
I
what
don't
Hot
know
has done.
anybody that hasn't been inspired when they
And
hear him, when
so
they hear the
that's
truth.
August 26th. If you're not able to attend in person, please join us virtually.
Yes.
We will be broadcasting live from the event. And if you have a question for Harry, we can present the question to Harry when they open it up for a short Q&A following Harry's presentation.
Yes.
And
So-
we've got it. Thank you, Amanda. We'll keep our eyes peeled if we know anybody coming from that area. Maybe
I
we
do
can-
know somebody that might be, so we'll talk about that
maybe
later.
we can connect you and help you get to Manitowoc.
Absolutely.
And save everybody a couple bucks.
And then September 25th and 26th is the second annual Liberty Summit in Rothschild.
And I have it right on the screen tonight.
Yes, you do.
I'm not
Thanks
sure
to
that I
Catherine
spelled
from
it right,
last
but,
night.
Absolutely. We're looking forward. That's September 25th and 26th.
Yep.
Friday night is a
Meet and
social
greet.
gathering. There will be some candidates there introducing themselves, and I'm told there will be karaoke that night.
Yep. So Screech Owl Scott has promised that he will sing a song for karaoke
If it's a sellout.
if it's a sellout. And I know tickets are going fast, so you better get on there and get your tickets while you can. You go to hotgovernment.com/summit, and you can get, they have the regular tickets that'll include your box lunch. And then when it's the break time for switching the ballroom around for the keynote speaker, then you're not going to be able to listen to that part, unfortunately. But they do have the VIP tickets, which include the box lunch and dinner and the keynote speaker. You can get tables of 8, and it's a discount of $25 per person if you have a table of 8 people. And then also on that link is a link for the hotel to book your room, and you can use the word hot or hot government. You can tell them it's the hot government room block if you call the hotel, and then give them the discount code of HOT, HOT.
That's simple. I'll give you the names of a couple speakers that we have. Uh, we'll reveal the keynote next week
Mm-hmm.
because I want to be able to provide a little more information than just a name. But we have Peter Berniger is going to be the speaker. I think he's
Yes.
presenting twice.
Yes, he is.
And we have our very own AJ the Rippin' Rabbit, one of the animals of radio, will be in the house presenting on Saturday. We've got
Dan Eastman
Dan Eastman,
will be speaking.
and you'll hear
Excuse me.
you'll hear from some of the hot people, and
Yes.
Bill Savage will
Yes,
say a
Bill
few
Savage
words
is.
because this is sponsored by Hot Government and the
And
Wisconsin Conservative Digest. So
yep. And RJ is asking, how about you and Wisco Ralph do a duet?
you never know. You never know. It could happen. It could happen. I would have to see if Whisper Rolf is up to it.
I'm sure he would be.
I'm quite certain
I'm quite certain he would be.
I know he loves to sing too. So who knows? Maybe we can do a duet.
I think
And
he's the one that kind of gave the person that requested the karaoke the idea last year. So
it's gonna be a fun weekend. So, like Red said, go register tonight. As soon as this program is off the air, go register, get your tickets, book your hotel, and let's have a great weekend on September 25th and 26th for the second annual Liberty Summit. Uh,
be there or be square.
there we go, Red.
Absolutely.
So let's kick it back real quick, Red. I forget where we left off.
Number 9.
The Peruvian brothel. This was the National Institute of Mental Health.
In 1978.
Received a Golden Fleece from Senator Proxmire. The original cost was $97,000, or equivalent to about 400, almost $500,000 today. And research, it just involved activities in a Peruvian brothel.
Mm.
There again, I
What?
think I probably could have told them
Yeah.
without without never having been in a brothel.
You know what? I'm gonna do a poll here, and it'll save $97,000 or the equivalent today of 497,000. Put 100 in the chat if you know what they do in a brothel. Put a 200 in the chat if you don't. How about that? And as we're waiting for,
I'm seeing. Oops.
oh, Amanda, really? You don't know what would happen in a brothel?
Well, we can probably go back and find this study from 1978, and
We'll discuss what happens in a brothel after the show.
you can leave that one.
Well,
I
I
want no part
can't,
of that
but
conversation. Now this one didn't give a specific date. Read the late 70s, so somewhere 78, 79. The tequila, gin, and sunfish research. 100,000 back then, 500,000 today, and the research involved alcohol and the aggressive behavior in sunfish.
in sunfish,
Because, as we know, sunfish are always drinking alcohol. We have to know why they become so aggressive.
pause. We did get a 300 by Mr. Harryweight, and he says, don't want to know. I agree. I agree.
There we go, Harry. So we don't have to have that conversation, but
Okay.
we probably didn't have to have the study either.
No, we didn't.
Uh,
But I just figured that was the easiest way to let people know instead of having to do that. So why do we need to get sunfish drunk?
To be
Aggressiveness?
to determine why they become so aggressive. I don't know,
I
Red.
guess I never even realized a sunfish got aggressive.
Well, I
I
didn't.
guess that's
I
why
guess
we
well
needed the research.
only when they have beer muscle, I guess, or in this case, tequila muscle.
Yeah, tequila.
Then they get aggressive.
Which leads into the late 1970s. The next study was approximate original cost 121,000. Nowadays it would be 600,000 plus. Excuse me. And it wanted to know the effects of marijuana on male sexual arousal.
And really, was this necessary
No.
government research, Red? I don't think so.
Was it a legitimate drug research?
And more importantly, had taxpayers know had they known this was happening, that this was being studied,
Would they
would they have
voluntarily
yeah,
funded it?
yeah, would they have said, "Here, take some of my tax money because we need to know about the arousal of men who are."
So they basically wanted to know, should I go and smoke some pot if I want to go and be romantic with my girlfriend, wife, whatever?
I don't know, Red, but
I, I,
this is on the heels of the government also hiding some of the benefits of marijuana, in the early 70s when they did, because they buried some good information about marijuana, and then they
mm-hmm.
turned around and they want to do studies like this. It's just crazy.
Well, and like my dad always told me, trial and error, practice. If you make a mistake, try it again. Not specifically to marijuana and getting romantic, but that's something that the taxpayer didn't need to pay for.
No, absolutely not. We got just a couple more, folks. In '79, they had the military umbrella
Wait,
question. Go ahead, Red.
RJ says lots of sexual undertones. These people are sick. And I have to agree with
Okay,
you
yeah. So we we
100%.
we researched Peruvian brothels, and now this, and I couldn't agree more.
Absolutely.
And
I
we're learning so.
completely agree.
This was 50 years ago almost.
So, what, thinking about that now, about what we didn't know about it back then, what they were doing, I wonder how much of that plays into what's going on today.
It's hard to say, but I think a lot of it goes hand in hand. And we didn't have the internet back then, so a lot of this, what do
Oops, sorry. And Flippin' Rob says, was that the veil? I think that was the veil. Look over here, not over there. Let's steal your money. Let's pocket it. Yeah, okay.
so that in 1979 we can do some more research and we can find out should the military, uh, should military personnel carry umbrellas when
In the
it's
rain.
raining? And we have some military people back there. I don't
Yep,
know. I'm pretty sure soldiers, the least of their worries was the rain that was falling on them. They
right.
they probably weren't interested in
And
toting an
if
umbrella
you're
around
if
with
you're
them.
like carrying a weapon, you're not gonna really want to carry an umbrella. I mean, come on. And they spent $3,000 on this, which equivalent to 14,000 now.
Minimal investment, but still totally unneeded.
Yeah, how much government spending occurs simply because regulations become unnecessarily complicated. And Flippin' Rob says, no, I was quoting. Oh, I'm sorry. That was something about. Oh, it was about Fast Times at Ridgemont High that he
Okay.
was quoting. I apologize. Go ahead.
Uh, and the marijuana question kicked in again in another one in '79. Well, the other one was late '70s, so I don't know when specifically, but '79, uh, the marijuana and scuba diving, uh, the agency was the NOAA, which is the National Oceanic, whatever it is,
Yeah.
$6,000. Again, a minimal cost, $28,000 today, which is even in today's dollars, not terrible, but uh,
Yeah, what's the effects of marijuana on impaired scuba divers?
Yeah, I'm thinking that
Wow.
uh,
My opinion is if you're gonna be going scuba diving, don't drink and don't do drugs because it would be pretty dangerous. That's kind of common sense, I would think.
yeah, and even in the states now that have legalized use of marijuana, I'm sure they don't recommend that you go out and scuba dive.
And it just, like I said at the beginning of the show, you're gonna roll your eyes, slap your head, shake your head, and you're really like, what?
So
What?
those were just some of the 165 Golden Fleece Awards that Senator Proxmire put out from 75 to 88 or whatever the time frame was. I think it was about 13 years that he handed out Golden Fleece Awards.
And Nan says they swim slower.
I'm sure they do. And I'm sure they would lose a fight with the aggressive sunfish because they're pretty laid back when you're smoking weed.
Yeah,
I
and
never
the
saw that.
sunfish are drunk, so
Yeah, and they get aggressive. So
apparently
not
they're aggressive.
not a good mix to be uh, smoking marijuana and scuba diving if there are sunfish that are drinking tequila because they
Absolutely.
become very aggressive. Uh,
They don't want you to get away from the shark either.
we do have to ask Red though. Senator Proxmire approached all of these with a bit of sense of humor and tried to expose the waste. Uh,
The waste that we're trying to expose today.
and we can look at it. We can say, well, basic research frequently does sound strange, uh, and scientific discoveries don't always have obvious immediate applications. So
Which brings it
he,
back to my question. What were they trying to research then? Does that impact on us now?
so uh, some of the research that was being done, Senator Proxmire really ridiculed it, and maybe some of it had legitimate value. We can look at these and go
But
and scratch our
but
head,
what
and
is
and,
the
and
point?
maybe we would have to look deeper at the results of the research to find out if there was any value to it, Red. But
Well, if
uh,
you fast forward 50 years, what would Proxmire find today?
well, I know one thing he would find because you
So
look
the
at
golden fleece then and now.
think about what Elon Musk and Doge
Right.
look at what they discovered. Now,
Mm-hmm.
it was waste on a different level and in different ways. It wasn't always research, but it was money being wasted, and they exposed a lot. So I think if Senator Proxmire were
Keep going.
still handing out gold, if he were in there handing out Golden Fleece Awards, he would find a whole bunch.
Well, one of them, the modern nominee would be, one of them would be, monkeys play The Price is Right. And hey, we went to The Price is Right.
We did.
And they would probably or reported they would probably spend. Oh wait, no, they did do the research, didn't
Yeah,
they?
they did do the
Oh, I'm
research.
sorry.
So
I was I thought this was
this was one
hypothetical.
that Senator Rand Paul gave, exposed in 2025.
Yep. So they spent $14.64 million.
And
Come on,
what benefit
people.
did taxpayers receive from that? Red.
How to play The
Monkeys
Price is
playing
Right? How to
Price is
win?
Right. Monkeys playing Price is Right.
You know, I could tell you how to win the 10 chances game
Yeah, but
because they
we
said, I could tell you because you're never going to probably be back to play the game. The car always ends in zero, the dollar amount.
maybe they
That
learned
was
that
easy.
maybe they learned that from the study of the monkeys playing the Price is Right. Maybe that's what it was, Red.
Rowan and Martin, let's see, carried this type of award forward with the Fickled Finger of Fate Award. Didn't know that.
There we go. Thank you, Amanda, for that one
Thank
because
you.
we're
No,
learning so
that was
much more.
Nan.
Oh, that
That
was
was
Nan.
Nan.
Okay, I'm sorry. I
Yep.
thought
So
it said
thank you,
Amanda.
Nan. No, Amanda said yes. She
Uh,
agreed.
they had one with the another one modern nominee for a Golden Fleece would be the EDM Club Research, where they spent $2.1 million They attended EDM clubs and music festivals, and they surveyed participants about drug use. And
And
they
they collected
saliva.
saliva samples. Okay, so they collected the saliva samples back to the tin hat. Why do they want the saliva samples?
What did they do with
What did they do with them?
what did they do with the saliva samples? Boy,
Cloning?
and let's go walk up to somebody who's stoned on whatever kind of pharmaceuticals they're on
Mm-hmm.
and ask them for a saliva sample. And again, putting the tin hat on, what the hell did they use it for, Red?
Exactly.
Why did they need it? What did they use it for?
DNA, Wetzel says. I say DNA, cloning,
Oh, maybe that's where my uh
twin came from.
my twin in Ripon came from.
That could be.
May,
You never
may,
know.
I don't think I ever submitted a saliva sample though, Red.
Well, I'm sure you did at some point. Just not
Uh,
knowing you were being researched.
but let's bring this right up to 2025. The Government Accountability Office, they estimate that 168 billion
No,
dollars, 186
you said
billion.
68.
I'm sorry, I
That's why I
stand
said
corrected.
no.
It's my dyslexia kicking in. 186 billion dollars were reported to improper payments across federal agencies.
Really?
And
Wow.
of that 186 billion, 153 billion of it was overpayments.
Really?
Uh,
Wonder what happened to that 153 billion.
and the Government Accountability Office says that that 186 billion dollar figure does not necessarily capture the full extent of improper payments government wide. And
Gee, Doge told us that in what, 6 weeks?
it's just crazy. And to put this in perspective, folks, because like I can't wrap my head around 186 billion dollars.
Right.
If you break that down, that's 510 million dollars per day,
A day.
$21 million an hour. Look,
Wow.
how much is
Uh,
that per second, Red?
$5,900 per second. Oh, I just collected another one. Oh, another.
Another. Uh,
Wow. So in a, if we did a tin hat comparison, say we do the show for 2 hours, we would have made approximately $42 million
yeah.
every 2 hour show. Hey,
Oh, that
maybe
would be
we
nice.
should have got into that one.
We would only have to do one show, and RJ says she lost sound. I don't know. Can anybody else hear us in the backstage?
Oh, wait.
Test one, test two. Can anybody hear us in the backstage? Yes.
Yes.
Nana's saying yes. RJ, you may have to refresh because everybody else is hearing, including Amanda and Wetzel and
And
Flippin' Rippin'
flipping
Rob.
Rob.
Uh,
Okay.
Red, we're getting close here.
All right. Well, we'll
Well, we
we'll
got a few
speed
more
up a little bit.
minutes.
So 1975. What has changed?
Since Proxmire, you're talking about what has
Yep.
changed?
Okay, so back in 1975, there was no internet, no social media, no searchable federal spending databases. Proxmire's staff had to investigate expenditures. Newspapers amplified his findings.
Get that. Now they're claiming that in 1975 newspapers amplified his findings.
Hmm.
And today it would be just the opposite. I'm guessing, that they're bearing like how often do you hear when Rand Paul or even when Doge was finding things, they weren't, we learned it because we don't read the mainstream media. Go ahead, Red. I know you want to talk about 2026. What's
No, I
different
thought
now?
you were going to.
Well, we have massive computerized databases. We do have the Government Accountability Office
Audits,
doing audits,
Doge.
congressional oversight. Well, that one's questionable
That's
because
very questionable.
uh, I don't
Because
agree
where
with
does
that
the
one.
money go? It goes in their pocket.
Uh,
Face it.
Online
Online.
federal spending
Yep.
records.
Yep. Instant public access to information. So, in other words, if you Google, like, thank you, Rob, you said earlier, Google it.
Yeah,
Don't need to do
you
the research. Let's Google it.
we have some technology that allows us to track things a little better, but
But
clearly not. I mean, until Doge came along,
yeah,
there was a lot of money being wasted. I mean, they found some, and it's improved.
well, excuse me. You can go back to the movie um, Independence Day. Um, Independence Day, one of the characters says, "Where do you find funding for this kind of research?" As in Area 51. And the old gentleman in the movie says, "You don't really think they spend $20 on a hammer, or no, it's $200 a hammer. Sorry,
Crazy spending.
I mean,
And
come on."
as we wind down the hour here, because we do want to mention Kenny one last time,
Yes,
but uh, I think some of the questions that we have to ask ourselves is, what actually constitutes government waste? And in today's money, is $10,000 of waste worth exposing? To me, you and
depending
to,
on
to, to
what.
to you and I, $10,000 still seems like a lot of money, but in the overall scheme of things, it's very little. And is it worth exposing? But I agree with you. Depends on what it is. I think if it's waste, $10,000 can be used for a lot of good.
Absolutely. So, what would you consider waste? I wonder. I mean, what I shouldn't say what would you consider waste. What would you consider a research that $10,000 good for? I want you to research this.
And some of these questions that we have to consider, we can apply them to the waste that we're seeing, but it can be as simple as holding our own representatives, like at the state level. It may not be waste in research, but it could be just wasteful spending.
Hmm.
And we do have to ask, how much responsibility belongs to Congress, or in our state, our legislators. Somebody has
Yep,
to answer to this.
exactly. And should they only focus on billion-dollar problems? Should they focus on something a little smaller, like $10,000 problems? In my opinion, yes.
Red, I think,
RJ says we do not need them. Clarify. Nan says all of it.
yeah, I agree. And
Absolutely.
maybe, Red.
Well, I know our good friend Timothy Rantham, had he became governor back in 2022, his plan was to go through the budget like you're looking for a needle in a haystack. And if it wasn't necessary, cut it. Get rid of it.
Absolutely.
So that's the all of it.
And
And I agree.
without a doubt. And maybe, Red, maybe we have the tin hatsies that we didn't have the tin hatsies this year.
No, we didn't do
We
them
we
this year.
bypassed them this year. But
Yeah, there
maybe
wasn't really anything
we have
going
we
on,
have a lot
really.
of people doing research.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's people associated with hot, or the people in the backstage right now who hear things and do things. And maybe what we need to do is, maybe we need to honor Senator Proxmire for all the things he exposed using.
Did you just honor a Democrat?
But you know what? Again, this was a different time, Red.
Exactly.
You know,
When people
no,
actually worked
I,
across the
and,
aisle.
and I'm sorry, I don't care whether you're a Democrat or a Republican. Uh, yes, in 1975 to 1978, when Proxmire was doing his Golden Fleece Awards, I can't imagine that there were too many Republicans who would dispute
Right.
what he found. And that's the way it
Exactly.
should be. It shouldn't matter who
Absolutely.
exposes it. And
It should not matter what party you're affiliated with.
maybe what we have to do, Red, is ask our audience, if you see waste and you've identified waste coming from whatever level of government it is. It could be at your town level. If you see waste and you want them to receive uh, a tin Hatsy Golden Fleece
There you
in
go.
honor of Senator Proxmire, let us know. And if we can verify that the waste happened, we will present them with the Tin Hatsy Golden Fleece Award,
Yes, we
because I
will.
think we have to
Oh
continue to
man.
expose waste.
we're going to get a lot of calls, I think, because maybe we need to make what is it, 99 of them? Bring them down to the capital.
Well, I don't know what it's going to lead to, but I'm telling you, folks, we have to keep an eye on this. We have to hold people accountable for it, and we didn't do enough of that in 1975. People saw these come in and they laughed about them. They got a good chuckle around the water cooler, and then what happened? Nothing ever
Nothing.
happens.
Yep.
And
Because he issued 168 of his Golden Fleece Awards.
yeah,
And from, the first award, like I said, was March 1975.
and the last one was 1988. And
85, I thought. Either way.
either way, I think it went
That
13 years.
That was a lot of awards, but what changed?
No,
In my opinion, it probably got worse.
He exposed them, and it continued, and it really wasn't re-exposed again until Elon Musk and his Doge team went in and said, "What are you doing?"
Mm-hmm.
And now we have to continue. We have to continue holding people's feet to the fire, including our local elected representatives, our state representatives, our federal legislators. We just have to hold their feet to the fire and tell them, knock it off. This is our taxpayers. Because there's so much that could be done with, including reducing the amount of taxes. But
Oh, absolutely.
if you're going to continue to take our money, at least use it for good reasons. And before we close, here, I think they're worthy. It's not waste. Again, it's different. It's not waste, but I think corporate America, in this case Walmart in Manitowoc, Wisconsin, deserves a golden fleece
Yes.
for what they did to Kenny. I'm going to put his picture up there one more time.
You know what? Maybe we'll have to make him one and bring it to the store manager.
A quick recap, Red, on what they did to Kenny. Kenny is a guy with special needs who was a greeter at Walmart.
That just celebrated his 21st year of
employment.
Working at Walmart as a greeter.
In fact, on his 20th anniversary, which was
21st.
On his 20th, though, which happened in the last year sometime, they put out a big blurb on social media. Walmart
they did,
thanking him for everything that Kenny does and welcoming
and what a special employee he is.
And a year later, they terminated his employment.
For hugging
and
somebody.
They're refusing to talk to anybody about this.
Nope.
They're trying to direct this up the chain, go to corporate with it, ask them why it happened.
Yeah, and like corporate's gonna know. And they're not there.
I don't care why it happened. It was wrong. And there's a GoFundMe for Kenny. If you have a couple extra bucks, you can slide Kenny's way that he can continue to pay his bills that he has, like all of us have.
Yep, until he can find
finds himself out of work. And
you can go to GoFundMe, and his page is Kenneth, Kenneth, and his last name is Schmitz. Schmitz.
So Kenny, if you were right here right now, I'd give you a fist bump, because you always gave it to me along with that big smile when I walked into the local Walmart. And all I'll say is, Walmart, shame on you for what you did to Kenny.
Absolutely.
On the heels of doing it to another special needs person just a short time ago.
Yep, it was just a couple years.
I would have hoped they would have learned their lesson from that one, but clearly they didn't. And corporate America came in and they
and I want to also reiterate that they Walmart claims they're an equal opportunity employer, but why is it two special needs people were the ones at the brunt of their firing?
Well, and it's not just that one. There's a social media influencer by the name of Damon Darling.
Oh, that's right. I just shared that yesterday.
Who's been going into Walmarts and surprising people and paying for their groceries, people who may be in need, and he's been doing this at Walmart and Sam's Club and I forget the other outlet. I don't know if it's
a gas station.
I don't know if it's connected to the Walmart.
I believe it is, because they banned him for life.
He's been banned
across
for life
the U.S.
from Walmart.
Oh wait, not just the U.S. Wherever there is one.
Walmart's, Sam Clubs, and whatever the gas station was. I can't remember. It might be in that article. I don't know. But
Murphy's gas station.
This is a guy who just went in and did good things, paid it forward, bought people some groceries, and he's been banned, and what a shame.
And yeah, he left the store. He complied with the um I don't it wasn't the manager of the store, obviously, but they asked him to leave, and about, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes later, they get pulled over in a vehicle, and the police officer is handing him a cease and desist for trespassing, and says he's no longer able to go in any Walmart, any Sam's Club, or any Murphy gas station.
It's just wrong. That didn't impact Walmart's bottom line. They were getting their money, whether it was this social media influencer or the customer paying for the groceries. They weren't out a dime.
No.
And this guy was just doing
But
good. And
you
putting-
just hurt the people that were in need of that potential help
and
from
could,
that guy.
could benefit from his generosity. Anyway,
And he's
shame,
vowed to continue doing it. He's just taking his business elsewhere.
shame on you, Walmart. You make enough money. Just the craziness. I don't know. You and I don't shop there often. We go in when we have to. We're in town.
And unfortunately, my insurance dictates where I go.
And occasionally we have to go in there. But when we did, we always enjoyed a fist bump with Kenny and a small short conversation. So,
And I was actually wondering why we hadn't seen Kenny in a while. Now I know why.
all right, Red, that wraps up the show. Let's remind everybody August 26th in Manitowoc County Patriots Holiday Inn, right off of Highway 43. Our
On
friend,
Calumet Avenue.
our friend and Harry Wade will be there as the keynote speaker for that event. We will be live at that event on September 25th and 26th. You can meet Harry again. That will be the second annual Liberty Summit in Rothschild at the Holiday Inn and Suites. Get your tickets now, hotgovernment.com/summit. And we will not be back tomorrow night, but AJ the Rippin' Rabbit, another member of the Animals of Rabbit, will be here with us.
Radio.
Animals of Radio. We'll be here with another episode of Rippin' Rabbit Hole Live. And if you've never heard AJ show, he will bring the A game,
As always.
as he always does, and it will be an entertaining show, no matter what the topic is. That will be 8 p.m. Central, like all shows on Rippin' Rabbit Hole.
And then on Sunday, 10:30 in the morning, backstage only. It is not broadcast. It is two or more gathering. And we are still in the Book of John. And we're getting close to the end, but come back and worship with us and discuss the Bible. It's truly amazing.
Good way to kick off your Sunday.
Absolutely.
Join us here, and that one's not here. So, Red, we're going to stop wasting people's time because
We have a republic to save.
have a good night, folks. See you next week.